body has slower distribution to the muscles, skin, and fat. Now, looking at the video and looking in your textbook, which of the following statements is correct? A drug bound to protein is an active drug. A drug not bound to protein is an active drug. Most receptors are found under the cell membrane. Or toxic effects can result if the trough level is too low. Correct. A drug not bound to protein is an active drug. As we can see here, oh, it's a little wild. As we can see here, this is a bound drug. This drug is bound to the albumin molecule and it will not pass. Look up here. It can't fit through the cellular membrane because the albumin makes it too big. Now, this drug down here is unbound, so it's an active drug. It is able to get through the cell membrane and act where it needs to. Another thing we need to discuss is bioavailability. We'll talk about metabolism in a little bit. Bioavailability is the amount of unchanged drug that reaches the systemic circulation. So this is the drug as administered, how much of it is getting into the bloodstream. There's things like protein binding that decrease the bioavailability, and metabolism through the stomach. IV medication is going to go directly into the systemic circulation, which makes it 100% bioavailable. If I give you an IV medication, 100% of the medication goes within your bloodstream, which is your systemic circulation. IV medication is 100% bioavailable. Now, the video mentioned first pass effect. For first pass effect, if the drug is absorbed through the intestines, it must first go through the liver before reaching systemic circulation. Now, this makes sense. The drug must first pass through the liver. So let's watch this video here.
For a drug taken orally or by mouth to reach systemic circulation, it first passes from the lumen of the digestive tract into the hepatic portal system. This system consists of capillary networks that surround organs of the digestive tract, such as the stomach and small intestines, as well as the hepatic portal vein, which carries absorbed material to the liver. After passing through the liver, the drug finally reaches systemic or general circulation, where it can be distributed throughout the body to exert its desired action. Since the liver is the main organ of the body that metabolizes drugs, in many cases, much of the drug that is taken orally ends up being destroyed by the liver before the drug even makes it to systemic circulation. We call this breaking down action by the liver first pass metabolism.
So, the drug must first pass through the liver. Now, the liver breaks down this drug, which makes it less bioavailable. Think about it. The drug, not the whole amount of the drug is reaching the systemic circulation, only a portion of it, because the liver has broken down a portion of it. All right, so we know this. The drug must first pass through the liver, which is going to decrease the bioavailability. So thinking about that, a drug given by which route is altered by the first pass effect? We have sublingual, subcutaneous, oral, or intravenous. It is the oral route. With a sublingual medication, it is absorbed under the tongue. Subcutaneous is a parenteral form that goes through the fat. Intravenous goes directly into the bloodstream. So oral drugs are going to first pass through the liver, which is going to decrease the amount that can get to the bloodstream. Next is metabolism.
In a few steps. Phase 1 metabolism. First, aspirin is hydrolyzed, breaking off ethanoic acid and leaving behind salicylic acid. This salicylic acid isn't water-soluble, so it can't be excreted in urine yet. Phase 2 metabolism. An ionized group is then added to the salicylic acid, forming glucuronide, which is water-soluble and can be excreted in urine. A lot less of the aspirin will continue its journey onto the rest of the body, including the site of the pain. Only 68% of orally taken aspirin will have any effect at all, because of all the filtering that the body has done. This percentage is called the drug's oral bioavailability. If drugs are not administered orally, e.g. intravenously or buccally, then they can bypass the small intestine and liver, so none of this filtering takes place, and they have 100% bioavailability. We are now at the site of some skin tissue damage. Tissues in the skin are creating prostaglandins, which are causing inflammation. The prostaglandins are sending messages to the nerves in the skin responsible for the sensation of pain. Once the aspirin arrives in the blood supply at the site, it prevents the production of prostaglandins in the tissue, which will reduce the swelling and stop the messages being sent to the nerves that are perceived as pain.
Metabolism is the chemical alterations of drug in the body. So this involves enzymes. Metabolism is mostly going to occur in your liver. So I need you to know that. Metabolism occurs in the liver. And over here you can see that the stomach, for our first pass effect, we have absorption through the stomach that goes through the liver. Now, biotransformation is another term I want you to know. This is when the drug metabolizes from an active form, a form that's working in the body, to an inactive state. The inactive state is not going to produce any more effect on the body, and it ends up being excreted. Here is excretion. This is the last step in pharmacokinetics.
Any remaining aspirin in the blood will go round and round the blood supply, going back through the liver several times until it is all used up or filtered out of the body. It travels into the kidneys and then into the bladder for excretion.
So drug excretion is when the drug is removed from the body. The most common path of this is taking the drug through the kidneys into the urine. Now, there are a lot of different ways that a lot of different parts of the body that can excrete, but your kidneys are going to be the main part. So think about it. What happens if someone is in renal failure? That means their kidneys don't work. They're going to be unable to excrete the medication. Some medications can build up to toxic amounts and harm the patient. So here we go. We've gone through all 4 steps of pharmacokinetics: absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. Another principle to know is the half-life of a